want change, but you're feeling stuck. The hardest part isn't making the move, it's staying focused and confident through the transition. Coming up today on Mornings in the Lab, we'll show you. We'll show how to break through the thrive in your next chapter. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends, where we build business athletes. Yes, we do. It's Monday, the first day of the morning loop this week. Listen, if you're an athlete, we help you build your business. Oh, yeah. And if you're a business builder, we help you become an athlete. And for those of you that can't see me right now, well, let me describe to you what I'm wearing today. I am rocking a black t-shirt with long sleeves. I got the old glasses on, black hat, and I got a camouflage vest on. So if you can't see me, I'm sorry. Yeah, true stories like last week. Camo on camo on camo. And hey, listen, we are here ready today to bring the energy, a brand new setup. John's looking sharp in the new studio. Marty's on point, rocking and rolling. And Kristina, of course, she's rocking it as well here in the lab. And remember, this is an explicit show. We keep it real and sometimes a little bit provocative. So you're tuning in. Get ready for a wild ride. Hit those kids. Hide the kids. Don't hit the kids. Hide the kids from the music, from the words, from... Listen, I'm just figuring out this brand new setup here today, here in the lab here. So listen, coming up here today, we have Oscar Smith, gym owner, trainer, motivational speaker, and retired New York police detective. He's going to share how he transitioned from athlete to entrepreneur. And we're going to cover the career transitions, and we're going to drop 3 tips to keep you confident and focused during big life changes. Then we're going to hit the protein break with Jory Jansen today, a brand new segment talking nutrition and how to fuel your body like a pro. But before we get into that, let's kick off the morning loop for 14 minutes, 13 minutes, 12 minutes of unpredictable conversation. Going to get a little weird, a little funny, a whole lot of entertaining today. But listen, let's talk transitions. Now, if you're switching careers or leveling up in life, we all hit moments where we feel stuck. The thing is, being stuck is just part of the transition. It's what you do during that time that matters. So how do you stay confident when things are uncertain? How do you keep moving forward when you're not sure where you will end up? Well, that's what we're tackling today. Staying focused, staying resilient through life's transitions. And because this is Mornings in the Lab, we're not just dropping knowledge, we are having fun. The point is, I found an article this morning, and I'm going to drop it here in moments, that asks the question that you all wonder. I know you are wondering this, and I know Jon Andersen's wondering this. What happens, Marty? What happens when you hold in a fart? Yeah, what happens when you hold in a fart? And to do that, let's bring in our team to join the conversation here this morning. Kristina, Jon, and Marty. Marty, Johnny, Kristina, what happens when you hold in a fart?
Oh, man. My first thing is, try not to do that whenever you can. You know?
Johnny, I love the new setup, man. I see you got a brand new setup you're rocking there, pal. What's going on today? How's the wisdom? What kind of wisdom do you got for us today here in the lab, brother?
Oh, man, it's going to be a great day. Because basically what you're seeing is my studio. See, because we're live, it has a really, really strong signal, and the signal wasn't quite strong enough. So we had to call an old Elon to straighten up our shit. So we finally got it right. We got it.
Nicely done.
We call it a mesh node.
A mesh node. There you go. Marty, yes.
Okay, John. Okay.
John,
that's my tech right there. That's as good as it gets. I read the box. It said, this is called a mesh node. I said, I learned something today. I'm done. Hook it up. Let's go.
You need some creepy music, man. You look like you got the dark background. You do
look like a little. We're gonna get some lighting for you.
The beautiful thing about this room is that I can go to the other side and I got a whole different background. This whole room is set up. It's basically a film room for myself and in a studio for my daughter, who actually sings and mixes music. So it's a sweet setup.
Oh, amazing.
There you go. Tina, what's going on with you there, kid? How was the weekend?
Oh, it was good. As you know, I got a new little setup myself here, working on my lighting. I'm working on my mic setup. I'm feeling really professional. This is good.
I see the new setup. That's fantastic. Marty, what's shaking, brother? How's you, man? I know we were supposed to catch up this weekend. I was busy at the hockey rink being hockey dad. We will catch up later today. How are you doing today,
Cool.
pal?
I was busy too. I had the merch table again. So
do
I was
tell.
busy this week. But hold up,
Another
nobody
15,
Do tell.
It wasn't 15. It was good though. It was good.
Oh,
though.
how much?
It was close to like 700, but I was there for like 2 hours though.
I like the sound effect. I like the sound chirp that we had a couple weeks ago. And Johnny's like, "There's nothing like making money when you're sleeping." I know. You wake up in the morning and you look at your phone. You're like, "Oh yeah, we made some." Speaking of,
let's go.
Speaking of, I got to tell you this. I got to tell you this, guys. So I woke up this morning. I opened up the old YouTube stats. I'm like, holy fucking smokes, man. Oh, by the way, explicit show. I told you guys that. Yeah, don't hit the kids, hide the kids. Guys, our show with Seth Kuhn last week. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Somebody might be messing with the YouTube algorithm, Marty, Johnny. But I woke up this morning. True story. That show has had another 483 people watch it. And that show now is our biggest show of all time, surpassing close to 1,500 views watching that show. And Nation, on average, Marty, 48 minutes, people are sitting back and watching Keith, Marty, Jon, and Kristina. So, Nation.
Good stuff.
Nation, if you're just sleeping on us right now, especially here in Canada where it's National Reconciliation Day, it's a little bit of a holiday here in Canada. If you're sleeping on us, get up and get going. This airplane, as Johnny likes to say, is turning into a rocket ship, and it's happening right in front of your eyes. So you talk about making money when you're sleeping, guys.
This is just a down payment, man. This is just that little bit of the iceberg. All the shit that's underneath, the 90% under the water. That's the stuff that's coming, man. This is just these views right now is great that we're growing, but this is just
man, let them know, John. Let them know.
This is just a down payment at best, and even this is like one of those those government half funded 3% down payments. Like you don't even have the nuts to fucking buy yourself yet. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
One of those government funded half nuts thing. That's exactly it. Hey, Kristina, that's what I think when I think of our show as well, which is this thing here. Which
the
is
exact descriptor. We might change our YouTube description. Actually,
I wasn't comparing us to a half nut government funded program. I'm saying that we've got this. We've got some stats that are growing, but they're barely on the Richter scale of what we're going to be doing here in the future.
This is absolutely true. This is true.
I'm such a skeptic. I'm like, are
hey.
these bots? Are these real people? Like, I'm like so not like, okay, let's go. I love it. But I'm always like, are these real people? Are these bots? What is this?
Kristina, I woke up this morning as well, and I'm having a pee with my phone, making sure I don't drop it in the toilet. My eyes half open, looking at the stats, going, "Are those real? Or are those bots? They gotta be real." Because how can you just you kind of get curious? You start wondering what the hell's going on. You're like, why? So then you start being then you have imposter syndrome. No, why are people watching us? We can't be that good. No, we're good. We're good. Kristina.
Well, now, what is this bot thing? Now, I don't totally understand it, but from what I do understand, a bot is like when people can like send bots to your account to try to fuck you up. Isn't that what a bot's all about? I don't know shit about this stuff.
It can be that. It could be that you can buy bots to go and give you false engagement. So you can buy bots that'll jack up your views, jack up your scores, make the algorithm think that you're doing a lot more and engaging a lot more people than you are. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. It's not just scams. It's all scammy. But it's not just trying to fuck up your account. It's trying to make your account look better than it actually is.
This is why we are bringing back our friend Daniel Hall, because Daniel does work around figuring out what's real, what's fake, what's scammy, what's treacherous, what's
I got some experience in that too.
Marty.
I got some experience in that too. I could pick out the fakes as well.
Oh yeah.
But I want to throw this on the table real quick. I didn't get a chance to say it. I'm surprised Kristina Flynn had nothing to say. I cut my beard. I got the goatee now. Nobody said anything.
I saw it. I totally saw
Nobody said. John, I know John could barely see. So
but here's the thing, brother. It's black on black, so it's a little change. Black on black. It's hard to tell.
Oh man, come on, man.
But you're right, man.
I know, man.
But you're correct, man. My vision's going to hell in a handbag real quick.
Like you shedded a few pounds. That's what it looks like.
That's what it looked like.
So and I gotta admit, Marty, for me, I got a new setup here, Marty. I'll take a picture and show you later. But I got this new little gig in front of me here, and this screen is like fucking this big, and as you know, I'm quite young. So as you know that I can see quite well. So I'm looking at like mini Marty, like across the room now on my screen. So I apologize, pal, that I didn't.
It's all good. It's all good.
Speaking of that new camera angle
we got some comments on the side here.
That new camera angle, he showed me that, and I thought it was him standing there. I thought it was a fucking mannequin. I'm like, what the hell is that? It goes, that's me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, It looked like a mannequin. It looked like a mannequin, all dressed up like Mick Jagger. Yeah, there we go. With that green light on him, I was like, what the hell is that?
That's it. Hey, we got some comments coming in from the feed this morning. Good morning, Enzo. Good shaking, brother. Hey, Enzo, I saw your message inside of LinkedIn. Tina and I are going to connect today, and we'll get you on the calendar for next week. Is the plan here. So we'll see if we can get you on the show next week after, but we'll get you on here, brother, for sure. Absolutely. And yes. Oh yeah. And it is daylight savings time coming up here too in a couple weeks. And I'm a little bit nervous because that means that we're going to have to get up a little bit earlier, Tina.
Oh, but do not be one of those people. Come on, man. I mean, the rest of the world hides behind stupid shit. Listen, don't hide behind stupid shit like 1 hour, for God's sake. Pull up your panties, grab your pair, and eat the hour. Whether I don't even know if we're gaining or losing. It doesn't matter. It's like giving a whale a Tic Tac. It doesn't matter.
I'm representing the dude who's rolling over right now, Marty. And he's going, do I hit the snooze button? No, get up. If you hit the snooze button, you're 9 minutes behind. And if you don't get up right now, you're going to be behind everybody else. Speaking of being behind everybody else, guys, I got something I want to quickly roll into before we get out of here today. And I told you this would get weird. So I want to get into this. Johnny, Marty, and Johnny, I know you're sitting in your studio right now all by yourself. And I was thinking about you when I was reading this yesterday. But it turns out, guys, that when you hold back a fart, it doesn't disappear. Like, do you ever wonder if you're going to fart and you don't let it out, where does it go? Well, it actually goes back into your colon. And eventually, well, just say it comes out one way or another. So if you're going to hold your fart in right now, Johnny, Marty, it's going to make its way to your body at some point in time. Have you ever thought about this idea of holding in farts, Jon Andersen?
No, you ask the people that know me, and they're going to say he's very good at unapologetically being himself, including not having a stomach ache because I hold in farts. I mean, there's certain situations where I'm going to hold it in. And there's certain situations where I'm going to try to sneak it out. And there's certain situations where I might throw it in your face. So it doesn't really, when it comes down to it, it's a natural part of life. And I know Marty's sitting there shaking his head. That's white boy humor. I get it, but when it comes down to it, farting there's certain places where you can't do it. There's places where you can do it and it's not that big of a deal. And I try to keep myself in those positions all the time. I will go to the earth's end not to hold in a big fart.
So here's the thing, though. But what does holding in flatulence do to our body? Gas is a natural byproduct of digestion, and holding in can cause discomfort, bloating, and even nausea.
Oh, it'll make you sick. It'll make you sick. Yeah. When you're consuming the kind of food that I'm consuming, there's going to be some exhaust, and you understand that exhaust is going to have a scent. And my scent is it's like, listen, high performance vehicle has a different smell of exhaust than a Hyundai. That's all I'll say.
Oh my God.
Marty, there's a lot of different changes and cycles that happen with the bacteria that's in our gut that helps us to digest. The good news is that we have a process for it, and the bad news is the gas has to pass eventually. So when I read this article, Kristina Flynn, I could not help but think about our good friend Jon Andersen and the 5 to 6 pounds of meat that young man crushes every day, Flynn, and wondering what his gut is doing and what the flatulence is happening around Andersen's body. Flynn.
Listen, I just think of all the people I know. My sisters, like, they don't fart in front of their husbands. And I'm like, you're married to these people. Like, how do you not do this? One, this is not good for you. But two, to me, it's like, I get that there's some things you can't unsee. I get that there's some things you can't take back. You need to have non-negotiables in your relationship. But like, come on. That, especially now knowing this data, no. It's not possible. You got to do it.
I've only dated one girl that would do that around me. Every other girl they won't do that around
That's
me.
real love. You need to go find her again.
Marty, was it a conversation?
That's another story for another episode.
Marty, was it a conversation you had on your date? Like, was it like, yes, honey. So, do you fart in front of me, or do you not fart in front of me? Is that
nah? That wasn't it. It just kind of like we got so comfortable around each other, and it just happened one day. She was like, "Do you care?" And that's how it started.
And did you care though?
I mean, I don't prefer that. I was like, I mean, if you have to, do what you have to do. But I don't prefer that. Yeah,
I don't prefer that, Kristina Flynn.
I don't prefer that. Not my preference.
What's shaking, Double A Michael? I see here in the feed here, and what's up, Rick Klitke? I see you joining us as well. It's like giving away a Tic Tac, John. Yes, that's a good one, John. You're gonna steal that as well along the way. All right, 7:17. We're gonna go to the accountability check-in. We're gonna come back with our friend Oscar Smith. We're going to talk about transitioning career from the guy's done a few things in his life. So we're going to talk about we're going to talk with Oscar Smith around career transitions. But before we do that, we are going to give these guys a break because it's time for this part of the show with my new buttons, and it goes like this. Boom, boom. Yeah. All right. I got to figure out how to take these guys off the screen. Hey, Jimmy, you can help me take him off the screen. There we go. All right. Now I got to find my notes. Oh, man. The new setup. All right. Here's the thing. Every time lions go on a hunt, they're 70 to 75% likely to fail. Yeah, I've been on a lion hunt before, and I'm telling you, they're failing all the time. But they never quit, nation. No, lions don't quit. Because if they do, they're going to starve. You've heard Johnny's Gid before. You've heard it, right? We as humans start out hunting, looking for food. But when you're in situations where failure is likely, it sharpens your focus. That's what happens. You start paying attention to what really matters in your life. And the more you face these moments, the more confident you become. And the more you face, and not because you win every time, but because you've learned how to keep moving forward. So today, Monday, The Loop, we restart. I invite you, Business Athlete Nation, to be a lion. Don't get hung up on failure. Damn it. Lions, they run towards failure, literally. That's your accountability check-in. Yep. Today, Mornings in the Lab with the new setup with Keith, Kristina, Marty, and John, and our friend Oscar Smith coming here this morning. All right, let's see here. Boom. All right, over there. Let's bring in the crew here. Oscar, what's going on? Oscar Smith, how are you, pal?
Hey, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good to have you here today. I'm going to bring in the rest of the gang here. We got Marty coming up here. We got Johnny coming up here. Where's Johnny there? John's making his way back here. So, Oscar, we made it. Last week we had a little bit of a technical challenge, but not a problem. We sorted it out, and we got you here today. What is shaking today, my friend, on a Monday, Oscar Smith?
A pleasure to be here. I apologize again to your fans and to you guys. You know, I'm not the most technological person when it comes to doing all stuff in computers, but, you know, I appreciate it. And, you know, it's going to be a great show, and you guys have some great vibe and energy, especially if that you're from Canada.
Yes, exactly. So listen, Oscar is a fitness powerhouse with over 30 years of experience. He's the owner of OD Studio in Tribeca, New York since 2003. He's not just a gym owner. Oscar is a former gymnast, triathlete, and retired NYPD detective and rescue diver. I'm curious about all this shit, man. That's really cool stuff. Known for the 3 Ps of success, positivity, perseverance, and professionalism. Oscar, hey, Oscar, did you steal that from the New York City the police department? I see they have on their, what is it, 3 Rs they have on the car? Anyways, his unique training system combines everything from strength training to kickboxing, helping clients unlock new levels of physical and mental performance. When he's not in the gym, Oscar is inspiring others as an author. Marty, he's an author, speaker, and entrepreneur, proving that fitness is a lifestyle, not just a routine. Oscar's here to join us today about career transition. Oscar, let's start with the NYPD, man. You were a cop for the New York City Police Department. I am sure you got maybe 1 or 2 stories to tell us from that part of your life, Oscar.
Yeah, I have quite a few. As we have a saying as cops is that you can't make this shit up. Some of the things we go through and see, it's quite interesting how people, you know, try and figure out how to do things on themselves before they have to call the police, or, the most stupidest stuff in the world is that, I never get one call I had when I was on regular patrol, because every cop starts that when you get out of the academy, you're all gung-ho, you're ready to change the world. And you get stupid stuff like his dog bit my dog. You're like, what? When you guys can't work that yourself, you have to call the cops or something like that. It was like the worst thing in the world. And then, I was a cop for years in the projects first. So the PJs, as they say, and just, low income areas. And you have people who are not that intelligent or that educated, and they don't understand just simple logic. Like, you can't take that candy bar from the store without paying for it. It doesn't work that way. There's no layaway in the bodegas. There's no thing, there's such a thing like that. And then when you go to Manhattan, like I transferred to Manhattan, and I wound up becoming an undercover narcotics detective there for a while. And, people are a little bit nicer, and it was like almost in the cartoons, like, all right, you got me. And I have to say, like with Jon there, your size matters, because people don't want to mess with you. They're like, dude, I don't want to mess with that cop. He's the smallest one out of all the bunch of them that, we're going to knock him around. And I tell my wife, simple, when she married, she's like, you ever beat people up? I'm like, yeah, everybody once in a while needs a good old fashioned ass whipping to get themselves together. So, I mean, there's so many stories in there from, my favorite story is that the New York City always has an auto show. And there's only 4 or 5 unmarked cabs in New York City with our police cars. And people don't realize they look like regular cabs. So it was all these models who are going to the car show, there'd be the display girls and whatnot. And my partner and I, Ronnie, we're sitting there on 7th Avenue, and we saw this group of girls trying to get a cab. We pull up, we put the girls all in a cab, put the lights and sirens on, take them to Madison Square, I'm assuming, to the Javits Center. And they're like, you guys are cops? You're like, yep. Like, where you going? Like, oh, we got to go to the auto show and do our display. We're like, great. And I wasn't single. My partner, Ronnie, is that single. I'm like, dude, Ronnie would take you and show you guys around. He would totally drop the ball. Like, dude, I set you up like there's no tomorrow, and you just totally just ruin everything every time. But
jeez,
it's like things like that where people go have good stories. Like, hey, New York City cops are cool, So, but we want.
Yeah, Marty.
Oh no, it sounds interesting. So,
guys.
Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Oscar, can you hear me?
Yes,
Oscar, that's yeah. Go ahead, Marty.
Okay. Yeah, and I was about to say all that sounds interesting.
Yes,
so how? Okay.
Yep.
How did you transition from the police force to fitness? Was fitness always a passion? Was it something you came upon? How did that transition happen?
Well, what happened is that I always wanted to be a pro athlete. And then I was training for the 88 Olympics being a gymnast. I went from being a D-back, wasn't that great at football as I thought I was, and then fell in love with gymnastics. And then trying to get sponsorship, also, which is very hard for most athletes. And they all go through that. And then, I had my degree in phys ed. I wanted to be a phys ed teacher. My first job was at a Catholic school, which paid me like $18,000 a year. So I wound up working at a gym, and that's how it started. I was a regular floor staff guy, and it was great because it was a very high-end gym in a very affluent area, and it allowed me to do my graduate work and do my homework. And a guy said to me, dude, you're in really great shape. I want to look like you. And I'm like, dude, what are you, gay or something? Get away from me, And the guy was like, do you know what a personal trainer is? And I was like, I have no idea. And he explained it to me. And he was like, look, I'll pay you $20 just to follow you in a gym. And again, I was like, dude, what are you, some fag or something? Like, what is wrong with you?
Man. Whoa. Hold on.
Trainers
Hold on. So that is not language we use on the show. So I'm going to pause, and I'm going to pause.
Sorry.
No. That's not. Hold on. No, it's not language we use on the show. We are a safe space for humans of all types. We don't use words like that. We don't use N words. We don't use F words. We don't use words like that on the show, Oscar. So I'm actually going to pause, and I'm going to turn my conversation this way because that's not a conversation, and those aren't words that I invite into this show. So this is a safe space for all human beings. And I don't care what color you are. I don't care what race you are. I don't care who you sleep with. We don't label people on this show. We don't. So and I'm going to be very frank with you, Oscar. I can make a choice right now. I could either continue with the show or I can end the show. I'm going to continue with the show because if I end it, then I'm like everybody else. But I'm going to continue the show out of respect for you and out of respect for curiosity in this conversation, because I want to welcome dialogue. But I'm not going to tolerate language like this on our show. If that language shows up in the comments, I ban you. Okay? So we're going to pause. We're going to slow it down. We're going to re-invite the conversation around curiosity because I'm just not going to have that in the show. This is a fun show. It's a humorous show. It's a show for so to say that I'm frankly pissed off right now would be an understatement. But I'm collecting my thoughts, and I'm being very, very respectful, and I'm being positive and curious about the conversation. So we're going to slow it down, and we're going to keep talking, but we're not going to use language like that, so that we can have a nice chat. Okay? So let's restart that. We're not going to use words like that, and we're not going to use attitudes like that, or else we're just going to end the show. Is that fair? Awesome. Good. Okay. Yes, those are words that were out of line. I agree, 100%. So, Oscar, let's restart this conversation. So we're not going to use that kind of humor because that's not because then I'll be honest with you, man. That's the humor from yesterday, Oscar, and that's not the humor we're trying to build here in the lab, man. We're trying to build a future for young men that are invited into safe spaces that want to have conversations with guys like myself, Jon and Marty and Kristina, that are comforting and are safe. So let's try this again. Let's do this. Actually, let's do this. Marty, we're going to go to the fit tip, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have the conversation about career transitions. That's what we're going to do here. So we're going to go to fit tip. Marty, we're going to do the fit tip, Jimmy, and then we're going to come back and we're going to continue the conversation about how we transition careers from the career we had to the career we're moving to. Because I know I've been through my transitions. I know Johnny's been through his transitions. Marty's been through his transitions. Oscar's been through his transitions. Kristina's been through her transitions. So that's what we're going to focus on. So Marty, we're going to do the fit tip, and then we're going to rock a little back with career transitioning with Oscar Smith here coming up in 90 seconds. All right, let's do that. We're going to do this.
Let's rock and roll.
Come on, man. Right. Let's go. Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback, Johnny.
Let's do it. All right, we got the fitness tip for today. Today is not about getting results. We're going to talk a little different. We're going to talk about gym etiquette. All right. We all want to get to the gym. We all want to get better, and we want to get out. Okay. But everybody has to play by the same rules. All right. So here are some quick do's and don'ts. All right. To keep your workout smooth and everyone else's. All right. For the do's: wipe down equipment. We got to stay clean in the gym. Nobody wants to get on a machine after you're nasty, sweaty, you know what was on there, and you don't wipe it down. I understand you're going to sweat in the gym. We in there working hard. Amazing. But we got to keep it clean. All right. Share the machines during busy times. All right. Sometimes you might have to work in a set with someone. There's nothing wrong with that. Change the weight. You can do it fairly quickly, but be mindful of that. Everybody's there for the same goal. Re-rack your weights. Put your damn weights back, man. All right. Not only is that lazy, not only is it inconsiderate, somebody can get hurt because your lazy tail was leaving weights out. So re-rack your weights. All right. Stay focused. Get off your phone. Okay. If you want to change the song, that's cool. Respond to a quick text. Cool. But don't be on there scrolling, double tapping your Instagram crushes Instagram picture. We don't have time for that. Be considerate of people. Okay. I'm sorry. That was one of the don'ts, but stay focused. This is a do. Sorry. Some more of the don'ts. I didn't transition for y'all. Don't hog the equipment. Kind of what I just said. Okay. Remember, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. It shouldn't be 30 minutes on the machine. Okay. Don't drop the weights unnecessarily. If you want to go to a hardcore gym and do that, of course that's fine. But remember, if you had a commercial gym or, you know, somewhere where everyone's not lifting super heavy weight, just be mindful, you know, place the weight back, you know, gently. All right. Don't blast music on your Bluetooth speaker, and don't give unsolicited gym advice, because everybody ain't at the gym to hear what you got to say. Keep these simple rules in mind, and you'll not only improve your experience, but you'll improve everyone else's experience. Those are some do's and don'ts for gym etiquette. That's the fitness tip for today.
Today, and Marty, we have Mike McQuillan coming in here with, look at this, Marty. Some a-hole set up 275 in the deadlift the other day, then walked away. And
Bro, like, come on, man. Like, he needs to be banned from the gym.
It's Marty, why is gym etiquette so difficult for so many people?
Because people don't look at the gym like it's a place of business.
Is that what it is?
They don't look at it like it's a serious place. It's a playground. It's an adult playground for people, or the adult club. That's what they treat it like.
If I had a dime for everybody that tried to tell me how to lift weights, shit, man, it's crazy. Oh yeah,
bro.
I mean, and I sit there, it's like, okay, you want to give me a piece of advice, okay, and I'll be pleasant and I'll pretend like I'm listening, but like, holy smokes, what, you know, you look like you just showed up here for the first time today. You're walking in and telling me how this place works, man. I've been doing this since before you were even a squirm in your daddy's pants.
We got some comments before we bring Oscar Smith. We got some comments coming from the side here. That Greek plumber says, thank you. Thank you, brother, for saying that, brother. A lot of people just hold up gym equipment, and Marty, yeah, and I think Oscar probably tuned in that as well. We all need to remember, focus on yourself. The gym doesn't, don't every session is progressing, and people only look at the gym as it's their gym. So that's pretty funny here. Oscar, do you have those same challenges as people walking into the gym just acting like they own the place?
I think he's got a delay.
The gym. Sorry.
Do you find that people walk around the gym like it's your place? Do you find that people come around the gym acting like it's your place?
That was always the case.
Yeah.
Well, it's like what Jon said, that and Marty as well. You go to the gym and then everyone looks at you, they size you up, and they think like you don't know what you're doing, and they want to they own the gym.
Yep.
And it's kind of like a human need of people need to kind of like to feel a little bit inferior, because Jon's a big guy, Marty's in great shape, yourself as well, Keith. People want to belong, and they feel that you impede on that. So when people do go to the gym, they kind of size each other up. Women do the same thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of them have attitudes or chip on their shoulders, which happens. And it's just a normal thing where people want to just engage in conversation also with you. The gym used to be a big social scene, I remember back in the 90s. And it was a great thing where you develop like a family there. You had a workout partner or friends and stuff like that. And it made you feel good because you felt better every time you went into the gym. People would say, hello, hey, how you doing? Or, hey, can I get a set in with you and whatnot? And it's very true what Marty said about people just on their phones and just completely, not cognizant of other people at all. That it's not your own gym. Clean up after yourself. Wipe the equipment down. It doesn't take much to do that.
So
no
true.
one to have your sweat all over the place. If everyone did that, the place would smell disgusting.
And you can kind of politely control these situations, because Marty, what you said is so true. People, you go up to a machine. Hey, how many sets you got? Oh, I got 3 more. And then they go back looking at their phone. And so my thing will be, hey, perfect. I'd like to do 3 sets also. Since when you're looking at your phone, please stand up so I can use the machine. And then when I'm done, you can use the machine. And usually just with that simple explanation, they'll hit the bricks.
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, let's get to our main topic of the day here, guys, which is around 3 tips for staying confident and consistent with stay focused and confident during career transitions. So here's a good stat for us. 45% of professionals feel unprepared to make a significant career change, citing lack of confidence and uncertainty as major barriers. We hear the word often about, imposter syndrome or not having the confidence to move forward. Oscar, you transitioned from an athlete to detective to entrepreneur using skills from your past. Oscar, how did those past experiences in athletics and law enforcement help you now succeed as a gym owner? What do you use yesterday to wake up and accentuate what you're building today? Oscar.
What happened is that when I was, an athlete and being in great shape, like that of Jon and Marty and yourself, there's certain people look up to you for guidance. Like I'm sure Jon goes to the gym and people look at him and saying with Marty, hey, I want to look like what I was saying before. People want to say, I want to be in better shape. I just don't know how or how to do so and afraid to get that. So what I did, I took my athletic background and put it towards the police department because I used to lifeguard for 16, 18 years on the beach. And I met a cop and he said, look, you're not happy being a phys ed teacher. You can always quit if you don't like it. Go be a cop. And then if you don't like that job, you can quit that job and do something else. And that's the whole thing. Don't be afraid to try something. And look, this doesn't work for me. And then leave and go do something else. And that's the thing that holds a lot of people back. That fear of like, well, I don't want to go through, that transition, doing something for a couple of years and then trying to move on to something else. And all of a sudden that doesn't work out. Because then you feel like, you're jumping from thing to thing, from one job to the next. And that's the thing when I look at people, when I was interviewing for my staff at the gym, how many, jobs have you had in the past 3 years? If you see someone on their resume and they had 6, 7 jobs in 3 years, maybe that's not a person who wants to stay with you and grow with you. But the fear is the thing that kind of gets a lot of people when it comes to transitioning from one job to the next. It's that fear they have within themselves. And that's the biggest problem to overcome that. I mean, you don't know if you like something until you try it, but you also have to give it enough time to say, okay, this works for me or this doesn't.
Yeah. Johnny.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it, making a change, especially in a career, and on this show, we're all about, hey, let's pursue those big dreams. And if you're in a job you don't like, let's start working on the side hustle a couple hours a day. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling scared, that tells you you're doing the right thing. Because if you're comfortable, you're not going to grow. We don't grow when we're comfortable. We grow when we're uncomfortable. And so if you're thinking about making a change and you feel uncomfortable, you need to follow that, because that's what's going to take you where you want to go.
Yeah. Hey, Marty, you got some thoughts for Oscar?
Oh, no, definitely. And I like how you were open to change as well. A lot of people, they get stuck in their ways. You've been doing something for a certain amount of years, and it's kind of like that's all you know. So a lot of people are just afraid to make that leap because they don't, they're scared to be uncomfortable. They don't want to do anything else. So definitely proud of you for that.
Yeah, we got some comments coming in from the side here. We have what do we got here? We have That Greek Plumber. I own my own plumbing business at 26. I was first security guard before I made my move. Well done, that Greek Plumber. And Double A Michael says, adopt a state of observing as opposed to judgment, and this is why self-control. This is why. So Oscar, how did maintaining physical fitness? How did that help you manage the mental challenge of changing jobs? We subscribe obviously to taking care of the fitness, the physical self, and the mental self. But as you were taking care of yourself,
what happens is that when you change,
how did that help you?
Change jobs. When you change jobs, mentally you have to prepare yourself that you're starting a new career. And it's very hard for people to leave that mindset of the old career or the old job they had. And the same with the camaraderie you built with other friends or employees or I would say coworkers. The biggest problem when you change careers is that you start off new, and that's all thing people have to understand. You are a whole new person. It's like having a brand new car or a brand new boat, and you're like, okay, this is a whole new thing, so I'm going to have to make a whole new impression on people that I work with. So mentally, it's stressful on people when they change jobs because you're starting all over. It's like the kid in a new school. Who's going to like me? Who's not going to like me? And then you have that self-doubt. And I want everyone to know is that I'm married to one of the top agents in the world for modeling. And in my wedding, I had more gay, transsexual, stuff like that. I used to be a doorman back in the 90s at a gay club as well. So I love the gay community. And when I use those words and whatnot, it comes from the love that I have. Just want to touch upon that, for myself, for everyone to know that. All right. Open to anyone and everyone and whatever you live your life. And that's important, to be who you are. And I've been to many pride parades and everything else like that with my wife. And my wife was actually given away by Ming Lao Tao, who owns the #1 agency in Brazil called Ming Management. And he's a full-on transsexual and stuff like that. And he goes on vacation with us. So I want everyone to know, embracing people for who they are. That's how I see everyone. I see everyone as an equal, never nothing. And those words I used before, that was in the 90s. So it's just that me saying that it was funny. It was a way you just, and it's something you have to overcome as a challenge. And it's very hard for you to understand that you're starting off new and you always want to put your best foot forward.
Awesome. Oscar, what about, let's talk about the contrarian side of things. So some people say it's just too late. It's too old to make a change. I've been doing this thing forever. I don't want to make a career change. I don't know if I can do it. I'm just too old. I can't do it. Andersen, I'm looking at you, man. I'm rolling over. I've been doing this too long. I'm miserable at it, but you know what? I got a few more years, and to hell with it. I'm just going to grind it out. John,
cut me loose, baby. Cut me loose on this. This one,
on your doors who are like, I need some help, man, because I'm stuck. And you're like, all right, buddy, go at it, Mr. Andersen.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. First off, we're all capable of doing whatever we want at whatever age we want. And, people come to me in their 60s and they're like, man, I don't think I can still gain muscle. I said, you're just doing it wrong. But when it comes down to it, I mean, when people see other people do it, I mean, my career is a perfect example. Yeah, 42 years old, I became a pro bodybuilder, and I became a pro bodybuilder very quickly. And so I think when people feel so limited, it's because they're watching other people. They're surrounded by other people who believe that they're limited, so they adapt these thoughts. When you get rid of these limiting beliefs and you realize that you're capable of doing whatever you choose to based upon what level of sacrifice you're willing to put forward, the world changes. And I shouldn't say the world changes. The world opens up. It becomes your playground.
Yeah, very, very true. Marty, what are your thoughts on this, pal? What are you saying to somebody who's like, nah, I'm stuck. I'm too old. I don't need to make any changes. I'm good with what I got right now. And then they sit around, they just kind of go through life not hitting it. So, Marty, what are you saying to that person that says to themselves, I'm just too old? Marty.
I say this, man, in 2024, you can find an example of whatever you're trying to do. So if you want to be, build muscle in your 50s and 60s, it's millions of guys and millions of girls doing that, right? If you want to become a plumber, start your own plumbing business in your 40s, it's people doing that. All you got to do is get on social media. We got YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You can find that source of inspiration. And if someone else did it, why can't you? They're probably not more special than you. And a lot of times there's someone who has more clout than you. They're making more money than you because you're scared to put yourself out there. And, that right there should piss you off, if anything.
Let me piggyback that real quick. I mean, Marty, that's so true. For those, if you want to make this real simple for those of you that want to make that change, go find someone who has done what you want to do. Let them show you the roadmap, because it's literally, if someone can say, this is you got to go A to B, B to C, and they show you how to do it, they've done all the discovery for you. All you got to do is follow the directions. It's like baking a cake.
Absolutely.
That's right. We got some comments coming in from the side. We got Robert Hunt, our good guest, Robert Hunt, joining us here today.
What's up,
Good morning, guys. Life is better when you own it. So true. Surround yourself with people who will support the fact that you are a 10. That's exactly it. And we got Rick joining us as well, saying, I found that people are afraid of change because it's uncomfortable. Discomfort is the price of admission to a meaningful life. And as we work up towards this last segment of the show here, Oscar, wrap up some last comments to you. What do you say to somebody, Oscar, that says, I don't have the luxury just to pick up and make a change? Oscar, you've been fortunate to make a few changes in your life. What are you saying to that person that says, I don't have the luxury to change? Oscar Smith.
Well, that basically, it's like what the woman just said. Discomfort is a great thing. You want to be out of your comfort zone. You don't want anything easy. Starting a business is never easy. And I explain it to everyone, who grew up without parents and stuff like that, or putting themselves through college and whatnot. It's not an easy thing in life. No one gets any free rides. Some do, but it depends on what you do with it. And a majority of people, believe it or not, make a transition in their midlife crisis area. Basically, so in their late 40s, early 50s, they have a midlife crisis, and they're like, okay, I don't want to be a lawyer anymore. I want to turn around and become a motorcycle guy. And that was actually my personal physician. He turned around and went from being this high-end doctor to being this big biker kind of dude. And it was wild. Doctor anymore. I want to be a motorcycle mechanic. I want to open up a motorcycle shop. And he was like 60 years old. And I was like, God bless you, brother. Like, good for you. You want to change and do something. Like, this is what's inside of you. And that's the thing, like what Jon said, find a mentor. Find someone who's done something that you are interested in and learn from them. That's the key. Don't think you're just going to wing it watching YouTube videos or reading everyone's Instagram posts about how successful they are. Now, a lot of people thinks it's so easy and they quit right away. I've been doing this now 21 years with my gym, having a dual career when I was a cop and then working, owning a gym. And people don't understand, it's work. It's hard work. Like Jon, you being a bodybuilder, it's hard work. There are days I'm sure you don't want to go to the gym. Marty, I'm sure there are days you don't want to go to the gym. Keith, same thing. There's days you don't want to do the show. But that's you putting in that work, and that's
it. We have Oscar Smith joining us here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends here. It's 8:47 Eastern Time, coming with a protein break. We got Jon Andersen coming with a lifestyle tip. Oscar, I appreciate you joining the show today, my friend. We'll get you in the comments. We'll get you in the feeds here. We're gonna invite you back for another conversation, Oscar. I thank you for coming in today. Johnny, we're coming up with a lifestyle tip, and then Jory, we got you coming in for our first segment this week with the protein break coming up in 90 seconds. Johnny, you're up, pal. It is time for you to do this.
Let's go. All right. The lifestyle tip for today. Tomorrow's success is planned today. Don't just accidentally wake up. Don't just accidentally wander through your life. Wake up with some intention. Attack your day with some intention. Create a plan. When you know what you're going to do it more efficiently. A man with a plan will execute, especially if you're one of these people who's trying to basically create a side hustle so that you can start to monetize a passion to escape a job that you really don't like. It is essential that you take a few minutes tonight and plan what you're going to do tomorrow so you can be the most efficient at executing what you need to do to get where you want to go. So remember, don't just accidentally wake up. Wake up with some intention, because tomorrow's success is planned today. Rock and roll.
Don't just wake up by accident, nation. You got to wake up with intention. When you wake up with intention, magic happens. Isn't that true? Isn't that true, Johnny? When you wake up with intention, magic happens. When you wake up by accident,
I'm telling you, brother, every night I spend a few minutes with my book planning what tomorrow's going to be like. I wake up and my computer's already programmed. I just start going about my way. Of course, I look and I reference things here and there, but my subconscious has basically worked on tomorrow when I'm sleeping. So I've got a huge edge up on someone who wakes up and tries to figure this shit out.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. All right. So listen, at this point in the show, I'm pretty excited, guys. We have a friend of the lab, Marty. She's been here a couple times. I know you named her a goat a few weeks back, but I'm not going to pull the sound effect out because I know it's not doing anybody any favors here. So we got a short time with Jory here this morning. Jory Jansen's joining us here, Mornings in the Lab, for our first protein break segment here today. Marty, guess who's here, man? We got Jory joining us here today.
What's up, Jory?
What's up, brother?
Good to see you.
Sister,
good to see you.
Me?
Jory, this is Johnny. Jory, this is Marty. And you know what? I'm going to bring Kristina up here today because you haven't met Kristina yet either. Kristina, Jory, Kristina, Marty, Jon. Guys, I'm excited to have Jory here to kick off our new segment, the Protein Break. Jory's a registered dietitian nutritionist here in Winnipeg, Canada. Jory, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, you are talk a little bit about yourself. First of all, I want you to take 90 seconds, talk about yourself, your background, and then I'm going to get into what we are hoping to accomplish with this segment. We're going to drop it Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays here on the Lab. You've been so kind to join us, so we can help build business athletes, help those guys wake up and start their day, not hit the snooze button, get the information they need to succeed. So, Jory, tell Nation a little bit about yourself before I do that as well.
Sure. So I am happily married to my husband for 20 years, and we have a beautiful daughter. She's 13, and we have an awesome dog named Fred, spelt with a PH. And so we're a family of four, and it's awesome. I say that I guess my platform is a dietitian, but I feel like I more help connect people and encourage people to be who they are using the platform of nutrition. So it's a part of me. It's not everything. It's part of what I do. My full-time work is with the Canadian Sports Centre Manitoba, working with Olympic and Paralympic pathway athletes. And then I have a private consulting practice on the side where I work either as performance and health dietitian, or I work as a health and wellness coach, where I do WEI coaching. It's emotional intelligence profiling and life coach as well. So I combine all of those. I have experience with, 10-year-old athletes all the way up to I was working with this adorable couple. They were both in their late 70s, just wanting to do better, be better. So it's a variety, and most days I really love what I do.
That's exceptional. Exceptional, yeah. Kristina. There's my word. So I got something just to throw on the table before I go around the table and invite my team here to throw questions at Jory here. So I want to set the stage. I want to set the table. So we all have different goals in life when it comes to nutrition. We all have different goals when it comes to fitness. And what I have found for myself as a human being, I've had to find my path. And I've been a yo-yoer, and I've talked to Jon privately about this, and Marty. I've been that guy who I went from husky Keith to fit and neurotic Keith. I've been that guy, Nation. I've been you. I've been the guy who's ate too many carbohydrates. I've been the guy who's tried to figure out his macros. I've been the guy who's been 240 pounds. I've been the guy who's 160 pounds. I've been you guys. I have had to find my journey. Some of you are going to want to have a journey like Jon Andersen. Some of you are going to want to have a journey like CMartyFit. Some of you are going to want to have a journey like myself. There's not the same journey for all of us. And what my hope is with this conversation, having Jory invited to the team, is Jory can give us information and facts and knowledge that she has gained through her experiences and with her clients, just like Jon has and Marty has and I have, so we can share that with you guys. And then you guys can make your decisions on what's going to work best for you. What might work best for Jon might not work best for me. But what I can tell you comes from the lab is experience. Jon's got 40 some odd years of experience doing what he does. Works for him. Marty's got 20 some odd experience doing what he does. Works for him, as does Jory. And I've been figuring it out myself. And so I think Kristina Flynn is trying to figure it out herself. My point is, guys, we're going to share information through the protein break, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some of it might resonate. Some of it might not. But take the information, do with it what you can. Ask GPT, call Jory, call Jon, call myself. But let's use this segment to learn. That is the ambition with this segment. Flynn, let's go around the table with some questions for Jory to set that up, because my goal here today was to set the stage for this segment. Kristina, what do you hope to get out of this, having Jory in the lab? And what do you hope our audience gets from this, having Jory in the lab? And then I'll come to you, Marty, and then I'll come to you, Jon, last. Kristina.
When I think about the benefit of having Jory, I think about accessibility, which is what we're trying to do a lot of times with this show. A lot of people don't have access to professionals like Jory, like Marty, like Jon. And so if we're able to bring this content to a wider audience, you're able to get the insights that professionals like Jory and everyone else on this show have without the cost associated with it. Is it going to be a replacement for seeing a nutritionist if you absolutely have to? No, but that's not an opportunity for all people. And so that's what I get really excited about, is sharing this information with folks that couldn't otherwise have opportunities to get in front of these people.
Yeah. Marty, what about you, pal? What do you hope to get out of this, brother? Marty.
I think it's great to have Jory, because you got Jon, who has extensive background, extensive career, extensive knowledge, but he's coming from one lane. You got me, D1 athlete, personal trainer, dealing mostly with Gen Pop, I'm coming from another lane, but you have Jory here. She brings a whole different intellect. And I'm just interested to see, her perspective on some of the things that we talk about. And I think it'll be good for the audience too, because we got the audience from all types of different backgrounds as well. So I think it's going to be great. I think we're going to drop a lot of game, a lot of knowledge, and I'm looking forward to it. And I got a lot of questions for Jory as well. So Get ready, Jory.
Awesome. Johnny.
Yeah, one of the things that I heard you say that was really interesting that I want to hear you talk about is you basically said you don't just only do nutrition. You really, what you're doing is you're helping people be the best of them. And, ultimately nutrition, it sounds like the nutrition is the foundation. And that's kind of we're kind of in the same business. People come to me because they want to be better at what they're doing. And their health and fitness is like the foundation, especially the diet. So I'd love to hear you talk about that.
So where do we begin? I guess I'll just throw it. I think that it's great to have different perspectives. I know on one of the shows previously, we had a conversation and I brought in a different perspective. Just it's something that the more of us that get together, the more that we're likely going to meet somebody where they're at, who's listening, and they need to hear something from one of us. Mm-hmm. And I might have a different experience, and so I can have a conversation from that, whereas Keith, Jon, you will bring in your experiences, and it's going to hit someone. And that's, I think, the purpose of this is to make sure that we're creating opportunities for people to become a little bit better. My leadership coach always used the acronym BEST, and it's not about best as in perfection. BEST is an acronym for getting better every single try. Yes. And I think that if we're always trying to get a little bit better, the times when we're not awesome, we know that there's still hope and we can still keep on going. And I think that's probably the goal in life, right? It's just getting a little bit better every single try.
I like that. We just said, what's best? Better every single time. That's a really cool acronym.
Try, wasn't it? Every try?
Yeah.
Or there we go. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So Jory, I know we're gonna rock and roll out of here because you got some commitments later this morning here, but let's just go a quick 90 seconds before we say goodbye. Our little shortened break here this morning. The power of protein, Jory Jansen, the one macronutrient that we all need to really lean into more often than not. Give our nation a nugget on protein knowledge before you walk out of the lab here this morning. Jory Jansen.
Yeah, I think people assume a lot, and rightfully so, it's out there that protein is the way to lose weight. And it can help with that for sure. But protein plays a huge role. It's a foundation for your immune system. It helps with muscle maintenance. We can easily lose that with aging. Protein requirements actually increase quite a bit with aging. So if we think of, we get so busy, and with aging, sometimes we don't have the appetite to eat as much as we need. Protein actually increases quite a bit with the aging process. It helps with cognition, chronic disease, diabetes management. So it's not just a weight loss macro, it's an actual health and well-being long-term macronutrient.
Yeah. Hey, Jory, one last thing before you go here. Why does nutrition always go in cycles? I know that's a broad, open-ended question, but we seem to go in cycles where we're in the protein cycle. Everybody's got to eat protein. Talk a little bit about that for a quick second, Jory Jansen.
There's always going to be fads and different ways of getting to an end result. So most of the time people are looking for either they think weight loss, but really it's probably a combination, but mostly body composition change. I think that's the biggest difference. People can understand that you can lose weight, but if you don't have the nutrients to support your goal, you're just going to be losing out. So protein is one of many nutrients that the body needs, and it's not just one source. The more variety of proteins, and that might be another topic, but getting protein from a variety of sources means you're going to get also nutrients that we know nothing about yet that are actually helping build and repair and keeping us healthy and strong. So I think that protein is a big deal for many reasons. And it is for more than just a weight loss, which I'm not opposed to people wanting to lose weight, but if weight loss to me is more of an outcome of a lifestyle.
Yes.
And so when we're looking at nutrition, and protein is part of nutrition, and it's a big part of nutrition, we need to look at it for all the things that it's supporting. Our bone density, it's supporting brain function, it's supporting hormones, which helps the body actually function. So protein is part of everything. It isn't everything, but it's part of everything. I think nutrition as well. Nutrition isn't everything, just like money isn't everything, but man, does it play a role with everything, right? So I think that protein, like me working in nutrition, it's the platform for all these other things to connect and work properly.
Jory, thanks for hanging out with us this morning. I appreciate you joining us today and Wednesday and Friday, the protein break with Jory Jansen. I see Johnny just nuzzling in here, leaning into the camera, getting all excited. This is very much in his wheelhouse, which makes me quite excited because I can tell that he's, this is John's world, and he's built a career with this type of knowledge. But like you said, Marty, different knowledge, different lanes, right? And I'm happy to have Jory here to, give different information that we all can use and move forward with. So, Jory, have an awesome day today. I know it's a holiday here in Manitoba, and you enjoy the time with your family today. And we'll see you on Wednesday for the next topic on the protein break. But right now, guys, it's the second start to this part of the show. What it sounds like this. Yeah. It's the morning loop. Oh no, is it? I guess we're going to the brand bite. That's right. Yeah, I got. We're working on the corona here this morning. So
we don't work on it for hours ahead of time.
No, you know what it was. I'm on a new setup here. Jory, we'll see you later. Okay, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you, Jory.
Thank you.
Great to hear you speak.
I'm figuring out my new setup here today, but I think actually the sound effect sounds more like this. No, hold on a second here. It's this one here. Yeah, that's the one for Flynn.
There it is.
All right, Flinner, it's your turn. Then we're going to come back and restart the show here with the Morning Loop Reloaded. So you're up there, Flinner.
All right. Okay, listen up. I need you to shift your mindset. You are building a personal asset, not just building a brand. So if you've been listening to me and you are behind it, you're excited, you're building that personal brand, I want you to do yourself a favor. I want you to give yourself permission to take your fucking time. The arbitrary timeline that you've been clinging to, drop it. The metrics that you've been obsessing over, let them go. The nagging voice that we all have in our minds once we've started this journey of why didn't you start sooner, give it the middle finger. Give it two. Seriously, try it. Feels really damn good. So let's get real for a second. What if instead of giving yourself 1 year to grow, you gave yourself 5? You gave yourself even 10. What if instead of building a personal brand that was based on impressions or inbound leads or conversions, you focused on building a personal asset? And just like any asset, any other asset, it will take time, and it needs time in the market to compound, find its rhythm, and mature. So when I made this mindset shift, everything changed to me. I stopped trying to hit grand slams. I just tried to get on base. My anxiety decreased, my self-compassion increased, and now I'm more confident than ever that I'm on the right track. So I want you to give this a try. You've never been the type to chase the quick win. I know you. So why would you start now? I have entered my no fucks era. And I promise you, if you implement this mindset shift in today's brand bite, you will too. It's time for you to stop playing small. You've got this.
For you to stop playing small. You got this, as Kristina Flynn said in the Personal Brand Bite, every single day, 9 o'clock Eastern time, unless Keith can't tell the time and can't figure out the segments. But that's what's happening here, 9 o'clock Eastern time, the Personal Brand Bite with Kristina Flynn. As we get to this part, I like this music, yeah. All right, Jimmy, let's change it. I'm standing so I can, you know what I could do, guys? I could do this. Johnny, I know you're waiting for this. Let me just put this up here. Let's put this here.
Get the mannequin up there. Let's see it. Let's see the mannequin dance.
Yeah, I'm going to get it here. Yeah, there we go. Just like that, Flinner. I hop up and down. That's my little...
Save us all.
There we go. Okay.
Every day at this time, I question my life choices. Every day.
All right, hey, you're here mornings in lab. I'm sitting down for this part of the show because I stood for the first hour, but we are the morning loop. The morning loop reloaded, 9 o'clock Eastern time. The only morning show to get you guys out of bed in the morning. Do not hit the snooze button. If you're rolling over right now, you're considering hitting snooze. Don't. If you hit snooze, you're a loser. Yeah, because you're 9 minutes behind everybody else. It's true, right, Marty? You're a loser. Don't hit the fucking snooze button right now. John's going to get off his chair. He's going to get on an airplane, come back, get you to bed, and kick your ass. So don't hit the snooze. Get your bed and get going.
Have a standard for yourself. Your standard is that you have the nuts to basically get up rather than hit the snooze button. Have a standard. Create a standard.
We got Marty laughing over there, just hanging out.
Man, you two are hilarious, man. I can't get enough of it, man.
I guess why people are showing up here today.
That's why they show up.
That's why they show up. Yeah. So the first hour, we figured it out on the new setup here. I thought it was okay. I had a couple of hiccups. I see the fog, Kristina. I see the fog on this camera in front of me, and I don't know why. So I will be figuring out.
You're behind clouds, or
yeah, I know. So Johnny talks about building the airplane as we fly and turning the airplane into a rocket ship. And Nation, so all you entrepreneurs out there, Marty, John, Kristina, we're talking to all these guys right now that are going, I want to start a business, but I don't know how to start. Or I want to start a business, but I'm going to start tomorrow. Or I'm going to go to the gym next Monday. Or I'm going to start my diet next Monday. Guys, tune into the show and you will see us building things in real life in front of you. So for example, this second hour, we're largely making it up as we go along. It's a true story. Right. So you might not see it on that side of the camera, but we're figuring it out. We have notes, we have structure. But the point is, and Kristina, you and I talk it all the time, people are reluctant to start. Just start, you guys.
Yes.
Start.
Yes.
I am. I'll admit it. I'm that person.
Say it, Kristina. Say it. So tell Johnny, before I come to you, because I want to lean into this for a second, Kristina, as you've been working with me and I throw something to you and then you analyze it. And I'm like, no, we're going to get going. And I can see you going, well, what do you mean? I'm like, no, we're going to go. So how have you leaned into accepting the discomfort of my approach, which is let's just go and figure it out? Kristina.
I think it's refreshing, but it's really terrifying because you said, things are planned and things are good. And then I get a message from you and you're like, right, this is what we're doing. And this is the change that we're going to make. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why are we doing? What is happening? And sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't. And that's why we have a great partnership in that sense. But what I've said to you over and over and over again, if this were my show, we'd still be at the second, third iteration. Whereas in how many weeks we're at iteration 50. And I think what I've learned getting those reps with the iteration and getting comfortable with the fact that it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, getting that out of my mind and just giving yourself permission to say that's okay. It doesn't have to be this wonderful, perfect thing because that only exists in your mind anyways. It's a complete fallacy what you're trying to build. So just get out there and act and do it.
Yeah. Johnny.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, perfection is camouflage procrastination, first off. And, taking the first step is always the hardest. There's no question about that. But if you're one of these people that's always saying, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to start tomorrow. Well, guess what? You're going to be old and gray and you're going to want to go look around and go, what the fuck happened in my life? And then that little voice is going to go, remember, you were going to start tomorrow.
Yes.
That's how it fucking happens. Starting tomorrow will wreck your life. Because you're always waiting for tomorrow to do what you should be doing today. There is no perfection. Take the first step. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. Yes, it's scary. This is what life's all about.
Yeah, Marty.
I got two things that helped me. So one, this helps me be fearless, right? I'm probably one of the most fearless people y'all ever met. Y'all probably don't know yet, but anyway.
I love this.
Two things: self-talk. I told y'all last week. I can convince myself I'm the president of the United States. My self-talk is crazy. So. Work on your self-talk and learn how to hype yourself out, or just call yourself a bitch, or whatever works for you. That works for me. All right. And then if I know everybody doesn't believe in the Bible and they're not Christians, but I am. But if you look at the Bible, every man that was chosen by God, they weren't perfect and they were fearless. So
I love that.
Look at it like if you're being called to do something crazy, you're probably one of the chosen ones. That helps me too. So
yeah.
Ooh, Marty
I love
just
that,
admitted
Marty.
he calls himself a chosen one.
I'm one of the chosen. Yeah, for sure.
I love that, Marty. I love that, brother. I love you, man. You know, and I like sharing with everybody because as we're building this show is to motivate you guys and inspire you guys and get going. And I'm certain, team, there's people listening to us right now thinking about getting started, but are nervous to take the first step. And all that we're saying is that just go. Like, while this may come across as polished and everything, I can tell you behind the scenes, we're all pulling our hair out and getting gray hairs. But the point is we started. Right? March 11th, I showed up. Nobody was here. Today, we got hundreds, sometimes thousands showing up. So if you're thinking about starting your podcast or thinking about starting your workout or thinking about starting your new eating routine today, just get going. And literally, and if you fall, come to our show. We'll catch you. And then we'll inspire you to start again the next day. And if you end up stopping your streak, guess what? You can start again. As difficult as it is, you start again. I'm not going anywhere. I know John's not going anywhere. Marta's not going anywhere. Tina's not going anywhere. So hang out with us, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and come back tomorrow and come back the next time. Get on the treadmill, go for a walk, get into the gym, and get started with your life with us here in the lab. All right, so the morning loop reloaded. The time of the show, we dropped some fun stuff to give you guys something to think about. And I had a quick little thing here. So, guys, gentlemen, for our wives, the very human reason most men cheat, according to a relationship coach of 20 years. Kristina, I'm going to look at you first of all. Why do you think men cheat on their wives?
Oh God, there's so many potential answers to that. I think people want to feel seen. I think people want to feel desired. And when things get really busy in your relationship and you don't feel seen and you don't feel like you're connected to your partner, you look for that connection and you look for that external validation elsewhere.
Yeah. Marty, what do you think, pal? What's the number one reason men cheat?
Number one, I'll give you a couple. Well, number one, I think it just this. I have a bunch of reasons, but the first one that come to mind is probably lack of sex. Probably not having sex at home.
Okay.
And I think guys are just biologically, they look that we're visual creatures, right? So you can lust after something, and it kind of makes you make the wrong decision instead of maybe trying to work on your relationship. You just try to go somewhere else and get that need that's not fulfilled at home.
Yeah. Hey, Greek Plumber, go have a good workout, brother. Thanks for joining us here this morning. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share it with your friends. But I appreciate you coming to the lab this morning, and you have yourself a great workout. Johnny, my friend, my peer, my same aged brother.
Go off, Johnny.
A couple of months older than me, actually. He's the old man here. Johnny,
let it rip.
Brother.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I represent both sides of this fence because when I was younger, I mean, I would have girlfriends that would be committed relationships, and it wasn't like I said to myself, I'm going to be unfaithful. I just was unfaithful. It was like the call of the wild. I didn't really even understand what I was doing. I'm not trying to not take accountability, but it wasn't like this premeditated thing. Like, oh, I'm with her now, I'm just going to go try to do X, Y, Z. I was just doing it. Then the flip side of the coin is then Tara came into my life. And then that's when the things changed. And I was, okay, this is my wife. This is the mother of my kids. This is someone I'm going to be faithful to. And it was a very conscious position that I took. But before that, goddamn, I don't even know what I would say why I was doing it. I mean, I couldn't have told you.
So the number one reason, Johnny, Marty, Kristina, that men cheat, according to relationship experts, is a lack of emotional appreciation. That's right. So call the guy superficial, cheating jerk all you want. You know, you think they want sex, you think they want a hand job or a blow job or something. But the reason men cheat is they want to feel appreciated by you.
Yeah, I can see that.
To appreciate that man means recognizing the full worth that he brings to the table and openly expressing gratitude to him for his efforts and contributions. Now, I know that this show we generally speak to men on this show. We do have obviously women tuning in here. But men, that is the most common reason why we cheat on our partner is not because we're not having sex with them, is it's because we're not getting the emotional appreciation that we are looking for. Kristina, what comes to mind when you hear me say that?
It goes both ways, and it's probably pretty easy to get because people don't like seeing or hearing what we need to say. They want to see what we're doing. So if I'm looking for emotional appreciation in my partner, I'm going to give them the same thing. And one thing I've learned being married to my wife, holy shit, they don't expect a lot. They really don't expect a lot. They just want to be seen just like you want to be seen. They want you to say, like, thank you. They want you to think of something before they have to think of it. They want to not be the one to always make the plans and make the decisions. Like, this is not complicated shit. Start doing those things for your wife, and I guarantee you those things will start coming back to you as well.
There you go.
And tell your wife. Tell your wife that's what you want.
Yes.
Communicate.
Kristina, when men don't feel appreciated, when they feel their efforts make no difference, that they're unable to make you happy and provide what you need, they begin to shut down, tune out, leave, or cheat. Appreciation is a vital emotional nutrient for a man. If they don't get that nutrient regularly from you, they find a place or person that will supply it, whether that's long hours spent at work, hanging out with their buddies, or finding another woman. So showing appreciation means putting on a nice smile, stroking the ego, pretending to do something like you do. No, that's not sincere appreciation at all. Sincere appreciation is hanging out with your man, celebrating, showing joy, and spending the time with your man that he wants you to spend with him. Sit down with your man, figure out the love languages, understand it, show appreciation, because I can assure you, it's not so much the lust that you think he's after the emotional connection. That is apparently, according to studies from 2022 and 2021 from the Journal of Psychology and Personality and Social Psychology. So there you go.
Now that you say that, that makes so much sense. So much sense. Like for me, when I feel like I'm not pleasing, like if I'm not pleasing Tara, I don't feel like somehow I'm not doing my job. It creates a distance between. It's really a distance between us by me. She's not doing it, I'm doing it. But then what I have to realize is, okay, what is it that I'm doing? I look myself in the mirror. What is it that I'm doing that's making her react this way? If she's not pleased with me, well, what dumb shit am I doing that I'm not aware of? And as soon as I do a little analysis, a little inventory, self-inventory, and I catch what I'm doing, then she just kind of jumps right back on where we were before I was doing the dumb shit I was doing. And I think when it comes down to it, we have a lot more control over this topic than people are willing to admit.
Johnny, you're bang on, man. It goes both sides, right? So while we want to be appreciated, John, we as the men, we both got to hold the buckets of water, right? Yep. It's up to us as well, right? So there's certainly both sides of this. And Shinku Gold, I may respectfully disagree with you, my friend. Today, I appreciate you being a fan of the show and hanging out with us. But Shinku says, I'm bothered by how much importance women place on dates and anniversaries. I don't know. If that's important to your wife or your partner, then let's lean into that and celebrate that for them. Instead of, because where I do disagree with you, Shinku Gold, is that maybe we're placing judgment on how that person's feeling, right? So if your partner or your wife wants to have importance around anniversaries and those kind of dates, then let's celebrate that. Let's not throw cold water on that.
That's what's important to them. We have what's important to us. It's what's important to somebody is that's them and support it. If you love them, understand that's important to them and get behind them.
That's right. All right. Closing comments, Kristina, before we move to the in the gym. Comment from you, Kristina.
No, it's good. I think these are conversations that need to be had. Ultimately, it comes down to being able to communicate with your partner and saying what you need and not feeling shame around saying what you need. It's just that simple.
That's it. All right. Okay. We're going to go to the In the Gym segment with John and Marty here, and Shinku Gold comes back with That's Fair. I appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, it's true, right? Because while we don't know what our partner wants, and if we communicate with our partner and get a sense of it, it's gonna work itself out. Good times coming back here. Married 21 years. Congratulations. Good time. That's awesome. Oh, anniversary coming up in a few days. So I guess Shinku, we're going to be celebrating Good Times anniversary coming here in a couple of days. Good time. Your wife's going to want something from you here, pal. So just a heads up on that coming up because she's going to want to celebrate that. So let's celebrate that anniversary coming October 3rd for a good time. No, you're not banned. You are right here, Billy Pollock. Glad to have you here on the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, guys, let's get to the In the Gym segment with John and Marty. Today, we're going to talk about how to train. Is it 3-day split, 5-day split, full body split? What do you train? How do you know how to train? When you sit down and plan your workout, do you call John? Do you call Marty? Do you do it yourself? Do you pick up an app? Do you do a smart app? How do you know how to train your body? This episode of In the Gym with Jon and Marty for the next 10 minutes is going to give you guys some things to think about as you plan your week, you plan your day. Do you do the same workout every Monday like we joked with International Bench Press Day? So I'm gonna get off the stage for a few minutes with Kristina. Jon and Marty are gonna come up with In the Gym segment talking about how to plan your training regimen with CMartyFit and Jon Andersen. And before we leave that, we're gonna say ARM. Hey everyone, hope all's well with y'all. As always, stay strong and stay smiling. Have an awesome day, ARM. Let's get out of here, Flinner. Let's put Jon and Marty on the stage and do some In the Gym with Jon and Marty. Boom.
Let's get it.
Let's go, baby. Well, I think we got to open this topic. I think we got to open this topic by just looking at like the way that we work as human beings. We crawl before we walk. We walk before we run. And so when we're talking about a workout, creating something for yourself that's going to be effective, you've got to basically kind of start with the basics. Let's make sure that, let's just say you're going to do a 3-day workout routine every other day. Maybe you're going to do a whole body, just kind of whipping through, but you show up to that 3 days. And once you ice that 3 days, well, now you're crawling, you're not just a baby, slobbering on the ground anymore. You can actually get up on all fours and you can get from point A to point B. And once you've gotten good enough at that, then that baby's going to find a coffee table, is going to try to pull himself up and stand on his feet, on his 2 feet. Well, that's kind of you've nailed down the 3-dayer. You're wanting a little more. The showing up part's not a problem. Okay, then develop into a different routine. But I think the basis for this whole conversation needs to be that you have to understand that you've got to be able to get the showing up part nailed down and the getting the work in, and then start to build off of that, because that is the foundation. The showing up is the foundation. So remember, you don't come out of the womb running, sprinting. You come out of the womb and you're on your belly. You got to literally crawl, then walk, then run. And work, creating a workout routine is going to be very similar in terms of the different types of progression. What do you think, Marty?
No, absolutely. And I think one thing people need to realize is there's no right way, so everybody, whether that's the bodybuilder, whether that's the athlete, whether that's the mom trying to get her work in, everybody who's been successful in fitness, they have their way of doing it. You have to find what works for you. All right. Just because, Jon does International Chest Day, or maybe you don't. I do.
No,
I do international. I do International Chest Day.
I tend to veer away. You know what? The things that people tend to do, I don't want to be in that line.
Okay.
I
do it, Jon. My bad, Jon. Okay. Well, I do it, but just because I do it doesn't mean you have to do it. You might. It might be better for you to hit your push day on Thursday or Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you got to develop your foundation and you got to stick to it. Just like Jon said, it's more about showing up and sticking to it over. Well, I did the same 5-day split as this guy. It's not about that. So, but let's get a little practical, Jon. What does your split look like? Now, I know you said you don't do the same muscle every day for every week.
Yeah.
But what does your split look like?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's like, I'll be happy to explain what I do, but it's so advanced, and it's based upon reading signals of my body, which is what I teach to people. And when you read the signals of your body and you give your body what it wants, it's going to respond really well. So, I mean, ultimately, I know that I'm going to train 5 days a week. I love to train. And I know there's certain muscle groups that I'm going to hit in that week. And how I go about my rest days, and even how I go about doing my, what muscle groups I'm going to hit, is purely, and I take, inventory, so to speak, on my body. And I'm like, okay, this, like perfect example, when I do, say, a squat or a deadlift workout, because I'll flip those. I won't do them both in the same week. Right. I know that delayed soreness is going to come, that if I do it on, say, a Wednesday, a Friday is when it's going to hit me the hardest. So what I'll do in many cases is I'll actually go to my back workout the next day, because I know that, I'm going to be able to get that back workout in and I'm going to basically be able to pay the consequence of all the delayed soreness as a group between the two. But that's also based upon my back feeling like it can handle that. If I was to, let's just say, at a barn burner of a squat workout, and I'm like, the back's not going to handle that I'm not going to do that week. Yeah. So it's so I guess when it comes down to it, I think from a practical standpoint, I don't know that me talking about the way I do it would be the most practical, because it's very, very go off feel. But I think from a practical standpoint, if someone wants to make sure that they're going to make some progress in terms of building muscle, I think what you got to realize is hitting a muscle fairly hard once a week is going to be really the way to go. Now, that being said, you're going to have, an extra bicep workout in your pull-ups. You're going to have an extra tricep workout in your dips. So programming your arms more than once a week. A lot of times people like to train arms more than once a week because they want big arms. Well, they're going to get a lot of secondary work in those bigger movements. And I know we talk a lot about compound movements. So I would definitely say use your compound movements to your advantage.
Definitely. So, I mean, what someone can take away from that is listen to your body. If yes. Some people might want to do it your way. So I think that was good. Shinku Gold says the gym is daily. If one part is too sore, I do something else. There's always something to do. That's kind of exactly what you said.
Exactly, 100%. So that's a perfect example that I'm glad people are catching on to that, because making good progress when it comes to training is not just blindly executing. Blindly executing, granted, in the beginning, if you're just trying to work on showing up, blindly execute. But once you get to be a little bit more advanced, start to listen.
And Billy Pollitt says, have either of you ever overworked yourself? Is it even a thing? The answer is yes to that for myself. Weeks where I've gone, maybe 6 days or worked out 7 days, your body's going to feel it. You try to go hard every day. So now I do 5 days. I'm taking 2 days of rest, and it's non-negotiable at this point. And it's not an all-out kill yourself every day. Johnny said it a couple weeks ago, like, some days you should still have some energy when you leave the gym, So my workouts are efficient, but I'm not necessarily killing myself every day, because I want to get back the next day and still be able to have an efficient workout. How about yourself, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, that's 100%. I mean, when it comes down to it, the only thing that you should really kill is the habit of showing up. Yeah. Because, getting there is the biggest challenge for most people. And so on that level, to answer the question a little deeper, if you're not one of these people that's showing up religiously, the odds of you getting overtrained is very slim. Those random days off, whether it's maybe you were lazy, maybe work went over, who knows what it was, but those random days off are going to most likely keep you from getting overtrained. So is overtraining a real thing? If you've got the habit of showing up, guaranteed getting the work in, then that's something that you should consider. But if you're not owning showing up, you can leave the whole principle for another day when you have the showing up part handled.
Yeah. And, some days you can just do an active recovery day if you don't necessarily want to take the whole day off. How you feel about active recovery, John?
I think that's great. I mean, when it's a day off, I don't do nothing. I just don't lift heavy shit. And so I think that's really, really important. But you said something early in this talk that we should make sure that we focus on a few practical things as we finish this segment. So I think for you guys, when it comes down to it, if we want to put on some muscle, which most people do, go and you're going to work a body part once a week. And I think if you just keep it really simple, if you do 3 exercises, get really good and warmed up for each exercise, 3 exercises, 3 sets each. It's only 9 sets, but that's going to be a good way to build some muscle. Now, if you're really good with your nutrition, you can bump that up and you can be doing more like 5 sets per. But generally speaking, when it comes down to it, people don't have the nutrition to support these really long workouts. So keeping it simple, keeping it, effective is going to get you what you want.
Absolutely.
It's sore.
I can't hear you, Keith. Oh, I hear you now.
And Shinku Gold says, if everything is sore, do some cardio. Marty, I guess you can always go for a walk, right, brother?
Always. And that's part of the active recovery we were talking about. So that's a great idea. That's good, Shinku Gold.
Yeah, there you go. So, hey, in the gym with John and Marty, every single day at this time, we go at 9:15 Eastern time, 50 minutes of unalterated Exceptional conversation with Jon and Marty. Knowledge and experience you're not going to get anywhere else except for Mornings in the Lab, 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday to Friday, the only live morning show to help you guys get your day started, get your ass out of bed, and help you guys get going. Okay, so Flynn, bringing you up here onto the stage here. So we are now doing a transition nation. We talk about building the airplane as you fly. And when Keith and Nicole started this show back in March, we did 55 minutes. And then Nicole and Keith made some changes. Marty joined the show and we nudged it up to about 75 to 90 minutes. Johnny joined the show. We're at 90 minutes. Kristina joined the show. We're at 90 minutes. But now the ambition is to get us to 2 hours. So at this point, John's going to go for a break. Marty's going for a break. We're going to lean into the community corner. John's going to get on with his day. Marty's going to get on with his day. So we're kind of saying goodbye right now. And then Keith and Kristina are going to get into the community corner, celebrate the LinkedIn Creator Spotlight, some folks on Substack, kind of figure this segment out. Kristina's going, holy fuck, figure this out. What do you mean, Bilous? Trust me, kid, we're going to figure it out. And then we're going to get into branding and business. We're going to talk about business and branding from the perspective of Keith and Kristina. So just like Jon and Marty, giving you guys knowledge from the gym, the ambition with our segment is to give you guys knowledge from the boardroom, even though we don't go to the boardroom, but business knowledge, branding knowledge, stuff that will help you guys build yourself and build your business. So before we get out of here with Jon and Marty, Jon, Marty, quick around the table. What did you take out of today's show, Marty, before we rock and roll, let Johnny get out of here for a quick break? Marty, what's today's show, brother?
Yeah, don't be afraid to transition in your career. You know, if your heart is telling you to do something else or, you know, go in another direction, you know, attack it. Don't wait. We're only getting older, and listen to your body. That's what I got for today.
Oh, I like that. That's exactly right. Johnny, what did you take from today's show, brother, before we rock and roll today?
You know, I think the idea that, you know, the transition principle, you know, if you're feeling uncomfortable, it's okay. That's how you're supposed to feel.
Yes.
So don't let that feeling, you know, make you backpedal. Lean into it, push into it, because, you know, ultimately being uncomfortable and everything you want is on the other side of that feeling. There's a better version of you. There's probably a slightly more wealthy version of you. And wealth is not just money. It's all parts of you. So lean into that feeling of being uncomfortable.
Yeah, if there's anything I've learned from Jon since hanging out with him is I have leaned into feelings more than ever. I'm reluctant to do something, but then I think what Jon says, think about the feeling when it's done. And man, if you can get your mindset about thinking about the feeling when it's done, you can really accomplish anything, because then it's just the mental mindset of going from point A to point B, Jon, right? Because you recognize that I'm going to B and I'm at A right now. Okay, I'm going to feel awesome once I get to B, and then you go. And yeah, you're going to fall. You're going to stumble. You're going to hit your head on the ground. You're going to fall a number of times. But when you get up and accomplish B, hey, Johnny, that feeling, there's nothing like it in the world, is there?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And we're going to talk with AJ Zeglin tomorrow on mental mindset. Billy Pollitt joining us here as well. So mental mindset is half the journey. Kristina, what did you take from the show today before we walk out the boys?
It was just a great show. And I think, you know, no one would be surprised that I'm proud today of what happened. There was language that was used on the show that wasn't appreciated, that doesn't align with our values. And it's nothing to say about Oscar. I think that's language that's used quite often in society, and it's going to take time. It's going to take a transition, but the way that you stopped the show and the way that you just called attention to the fact that that's not in line with what we're doing and our values makes me really proud to be a part of what we did today.
I appreciate that. And I want to take a quick moment before we say goodbye. I just want to call it, Oscar, if you're tuning in right now, my friend, I wasn't calling you out and putting you on the spot, because Kristina put it best. We've all used language like that in the past, including myself. It's not language that I use today. And it's not language that I know that Marty doesn't use. It's not language that Jon uses. It's not language that Kristina uses. And Oscar, I know it's not language that you use yourself today as well. I know it's not. So I appreciate that we had the conversation, but like I said an hour ago, I could have left it, but that's not the kind of conversation we want to have. We really want to have folks that I feel very safe in this room. So Kristina, I'm glad to hear that you feel that way, and I'm proud to be on your team as well, and I'm proud to have you on our team. And we have no judgment on anybody. We offer grace, because you know what, Oscar? You know what, Marty? You know what, Jon? You know what, Kristina? We all make mistakes. But if we're not going to move forward, then we're going to be like everybody else. So what I'm going to offer here in this lab is grace. When you make a mistake, come back to the show. We're going to pick you up. We're going to give you the courage to begin again and support you. Just don't keep making the fucking mistakes over and 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 over, because then we can't have you back. All right, so we're gonna leave it there. John, Marty, go and have an awesome day today, my friends. And Kristina, we're gonna rock and roll the community corner, and then we're gonna wrap up the show with the business and branding. John, Marty, I love you guys. You guys have an awesome day. And Marty, we'll catch you a little later this afternoon. Okay?
Sound good. Yep.
Awesome, guys. We'll see you guys later. See you, John.
John.
See you, Marty.
See you guys.
All right, get those guys. Kristina, you and me were left. How does this work out? How does this work out? Okay, so now it's the community corner segment of the show where we like to celebrate some human beings here. And admittedly, nation, we're figuring this last part of the show here together. So bear with us as we patiently get through it. But right now, as we've been building the show, community is a big part of our show, Kristina. Leaning into folks that are on the different platforms where we stream our show. We stream over on YouTube. We stream on LinkedIn. We have content up on Substack. We have content up on X and so forth. And you and I know that this show is nothing without the human beings that tune in, the human beings that engage with us, and the human beings that provide content to our show. So we thought that we can take the second last segment of the show and continue shining the light on others and bringing them into our show. So why don't we take this point, Kristina, and shine our big old Mornings in the Lab light and move it over into LinkedIn? And why don't we go find somebody who I know you've put on the table for us to celebrate here today? Let's do that. How does that sound? Let's do that. Okay, so today we got a creator from Vancouver, British Columbia. He's the founder of AdMRR, a growth engine scientist. Two pretty simple, quick names. Today's Creator Spotlight, who we are going to celebrate, and I'm going to pull it up here onto my screen here, is right there. Today, Mornings in the Lab, Creative Spotlight coming up, and I got no drum roll from Marty as we figure this out, and Kristina, I'm going to throw it to you to explain why we are celebrating this fellow. Yeah, exactly. Today's Creative Spotlight is, I'm just getting my new system set up here. Jimmy, we're ready to rock and roll. Today's Creative Spotlight for Mornings in the Lab, Monday, September 30th, is Nick Roche. So Nick is the founder of AdMRR, a growth engine scientist from Vancouver, British Columbia. Kristina, why are we celebrating Nick Roche today for Mornings in the Lab?
Well, what I think Nick is doing really interesting is he's using his LinkedIn profile as a distribution channel for other content that he's creating. And what I love about this, if you go, you're seeing all of his videos there. Yeah. He's doing a lot of video content, and he's obviously been doing a lot of video content before kind of the algorithm change. And if you dive deep, like on the surface, Nick's profile could use some work. Nick, I love you, but it could use some work. However, yes. What is really impressive about Nick's profile is that he's doing things that are anti what everyone would tell you to do with your profile. And it's working. So everyone's going to tell you, you got to be posting X, Y, Z, this number of times a day, and the post got to look like this, and you can't link to external sources, and you can't be doing this. And Nick's like, I'm just going to do it anyways, and I don't really give a fuck what you think should be the way that we do it. And as long as he's delivering content, which he is, great content, people are responding to him. So it's showing you, and that's been a theme throughout today's show, there's not one path to this. And he's also using it as a distribution channel. If his main and primary platform is YouTube, which I believe it is, he's bringing people over there by way of LinkedIn. So if LinkedIn isn't your vibe and you don't want to spend a ton of time there, great. But it's still an opportunity for you to get other people to and act as a distribution channel to your other platforms. And that's what Nick is showing.
Nick, we're celebrating you, man. Mornings in the Lab, Creative Spotlight. But as Kristina said, listen, we love to offer love with jest. Brother, we got to get a profile banner for you, man. We got to do something with your LinkedIn profile page. And you know what? We could help you. Not that we're trying to sell you something. No, we're just kind of throwing it out there that there might be some opportunity for us to help you with your profile. At least you can Kristina, at least we can offer him a Mornings in the Lab banner. He can put on his profile page for us. And we can just,
but it kind of proves the point though, right? Like, yeah, he doesn't have all the things that you see from everyone else. He doesn't have this like perfect profile that looks like beautifully curated. And, you look at his follower count, he's obviously got people that are really interested in what he's doing. So it kind of is like the antithesis and like the bit of a middle finger to like what the gurus say you should do. But yes, I think it could be prettier. Could it be prettier? Yes, of course.
So, Nick, we're going to invite you to our show, my friend. We're going to invite you in to celebrate a creator. Most importantly, we're going to invite you and help you with your LinkedIn profile. Nick Roche, all joking aside, we are celebrating you here. The Mornings in the Lab Creator Spotlight, the only show where we take awesome human beings on LinkedIn, Substack, Instagram, X, and take a big old morning light and shine it on them and celebrate them. We're about humanity and having some good stuff. Shinku Gold, I don't like LinkedIn. What the hell, man? Come on, hang out with us and we'll get you liking LinkedIn here. That's what we do here.
You're one of many. Also,
you are one of many. Yes.
Talked about that. You're not alone. A lot of people don't like LinkedIn. We talked about this, but dig into LinkedIn a little bit. There's massive opportunity there. And the LinkedIn of old, it's still there. But we need more people that are moving towards the LinkedIn of new, which is not boring, not bullshit, not just I am honored to speak at this event or have this award that I paid for.
Kristina, we're going to move to business and branding. This is actually a great segue. We're going to go there in 3 minutes, but let's just hang on this for a moment. Delineate the difference between old LinkedIn and new LinkedIn. First of all, what is old LinkedIn, Kristina Flynn?
So the differentiator between LinkedIn and other platforms is that it's a platform focused on career and focused on job. That's sort of how it started initially. It's today one of the fewest platforms that are not owned by and operated by one individual. Mm-hmm. Yes, of course, there is a guiding team associated with that, but not one individual guides the direction of the platform. It's one of the best places that you can go where you can actually verify the identity of somebody and what they've done. But it's also one of the best places to sell because when people are going on LinkedIn, they're in a professional mindset. They're not looking for the doom scroll necessarily. They're looking for information. They're looking to be educated. They're looking for insights, and they're looking for people to help them with the problems that they have. So in terms of opportunity, LinkedIn is a great opportunity. If you want to be a content creator though, the numbers speak for themselves. There's over a billion people that are actually on the platform. You know, the number of active daily users compared to the actual number on the platform is different. That said, only 1%, I'm going to guess less than that, are actually creating content versus consuming content. So if you want to be a creator, there's no other platform right now on the planet that's going to give you that level of opportunity to get in front of the rest of creators, which we're already seeing coming over. So platform of old, go online, post that you went to a conference and these are your top 3 learnings, or post that you are honored to be switching a job and, you know, thank you so much to my team and blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that. Platforms evolve, but now it's like, what are your unique skills, expertise, and experiences? How can people benefit from those? And what's the information you're going to teach them either through content or better yet, through one-on-one coaching or consulting or whatever it is? It's an opportunity for you to share information and share your experience.
Yeah. So Kristina, what you're saying is convincing Billy Pollitt, because Billy Pollitt's like, oh, he's leaning in, listening to you. He's like, it actually sounds good. And then Billy Pollitt's
sound
like,
good. It is.
Like,
you can just get that adjective out of there.
She's selling it to me. And then Shinku Gold, LinkedIn has a lot of half-baked profiles. Yeah, it's true, Shinku, but that means that it's up to Keith and Kristina to go and get those profiles and convert them to business athlete performance side profiles so we can make some money off them for Keith and Kristina. So
and I was one of those profiles. So it's like that's the nice part about this. Anything that you're saying in relation to this, yes. And so it's like you can look at a platform and be like, oh fuck, it's like everything else. I don't want to do this. Or if you're trying to sell anything, yourself or your work, you can see it as an opportunity and say, all right, maybe I didn't love the way it was, but it seems like there's a new opportunity here and I can make some coin here.
Yes. So let's do this then. So I'm gonna get serious. I'm going to take the sunglasses off.
Oh, no.
Okay. And I'm going to sit down and I'm going to look at this.
Have we lost Keith?
No, I'm still here. There we go.
You're cutting out. I was like, oh, God damn it. I'm going to have to do this first segment.
I'm still here. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to take the seated chair here. And I want to keep this conversation going because I think this is really helpful for Nation to hear what we're talking about when it comes to branding and business. Because to your point, Kristina, LinkedIn is that platform that people look at and go, really? Like, why would I go to LinkedIn? And I want to share with you the same thing that I want to share with Nation, the same thing that I shared with you when you and I first started working together, which was, you're like, well, Keith, why LinkedIn for you? And I said, well, Kristina, here's my perspective. And you said it best, right? Is that it is the only platform left not owned by one human being, right? So that was important to me. But what I found most important, Kristina, especially building a business that needs distribution. And I didn't have much distribution coming back into the world. You know, my profiles were all dead when I ghosted myself years ago. So I was come back starting from scratch. I looked at the landscape, Kristina, and I thought to myself, okay, do I go set up a website in 2024 and spend a bunch of money on ad dollars to get people to come to it? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Do I go to Instagram, which is largely a shopping mall that is proliferated by, I don't know, just a lot of crap. Instagram seems like a big flyer to make a big shopping mall flyer. No judgment. It just wasn't a place I wanted to be. I looked at the different platforms, Kristina, and I'm like, wait a minute. LinkedIn has real human beings for the most part. We can validate whether they're real. Yeah, there's fakes there, but we can validate whether they're real. But once I know that you're real, Kristina, I can then go find you on the other platforms. So to me, LinkedIn is like the source of truth. It's like the seed for a business to grow. And to your point, there's 1 billion people here. We can build a business on half those people getting to come to us. You know, you come to LinkedIn, you don't need a website. You can do everything on the platform itself. It's actually the perfect business platform to start from scratch. Kristina Flynn.
And start really simply. I think as entrepreneurs, it's very easy in our early stages to overcomplicate things. And I'm very guilty of this. When I came on LinkedIn, I was coming from X, and I had spent 2.5 years building on X and learning that platform and really starting my creator journey, becoming a content creator. So when I came to LinkedIn, I was like, well, fuck, I don't really know if this is like the vibe that I'm looking for. I wasn't seeing the people. And then slowly I was finding folks that were doing things a little bit differently. I was in my mind comparing it to the LinkedIn of old, as you said, when I signed up, I don't know, in like 2007.
Yeah.
Versus now it was creating a different opportunity and having a different conversation. And for me, there was just a lot less toxicity, quite frankly, than other platforms. Other platforms, X became different. After I had 2.5 years, I was like, I don't really want to spend my time here. That's not to say I won't in the future, but sometimes you spend time on a platform and you want a break and you want something different. And LinkedIn's really challenged me to look at my content in a very different way and to look at the opportunities through content, actually commercializing and actually monetizing my content in a very different way as well.
I find there's a place on the planet for X, Kristina. One of the things that I do enjoy about X, and yes, I'll use that word, I enjoy about X, is that it's a place that I can go and make my own decisions. And what I mean by that is that I like the idea of freedom of speech. I like the idea of less guardrails. I can also appreciate the difficult content that shows up there and the offensive content that shows up there. I can appreciate all of that. However, I prefer to make the decisions myself instead of somebody making decisions on my behalf. So I can appreciate the place that X has in society. I know it's not for everyone, but I can appreciate its place in society. Like I said, I'm looking at a comment here from Billy Pollitt. Instagram is a dopamine stealing app. Yeah, this is really true. Again, they all have their places, but for me and for us starting a business, LinkedIn seemed to be the natural place for us to build the Mornings in the Lab platform. So let's continue this conversation with branding and business and let our audience know what you and I can expect, or what they can expect to get from you and I as we continue building this segment. This segment's going to go Monday to Friday this time. My ambition with this segment, Kristina, is to get our audience to know a little more about you, a little more about me, continue building trust, less on the entertainment side, more on the business side, more on the branding side. Why somebody might want to hear what you have to say about personal branding. Somebody might want to say what I have to say about a business thought. So that's what I'm really hoping to take out of the segment that we're going to drop Monday to Friday. Nuggets, information, advice, things that I've learned, things that I can share with you. That's what I'm hoping we can offer our audience during this business and branding segment, Monday to Friday here at 9:45 Eastern time. What about you, Kristina? What are you hoping to get from this segment? And what are you hoping we're going to give the audience from this segment?
No different than what we were talking about earlier with Jory. I think you and I to get a 20 minutes with us costs money. And that's
Yes.
money that's accessible, that's not accessible to all people. And so I want to offer advice and tips and really like actionable, practical advice and tips to our audience in this moment so that if you don't have the ability to hop online with us and have a Zoom call to get the information that you need, you're still able to walk away with something that's really going to help you and support you on your journey. As you know, I believe that personal brand is another asset in the portfolio. I believe that the investment and the time required to invest in it is well worthwhile because you want to give it time in the market to mature and to grow and evolve. And so I want to be giving people what I would give my clients. I want to be telling them how I would go about building my brand. And I think for you, a lot of people, we talk about this, a lot of people in our audience don't know the business acumen that you have and the background that you come from. It's one thing for me and you to sit up here and say, look at me. These are all the things that I think you should be doing. It's another thing, and you're going to trust it in a different way if you realize that that information and those insights and that advice is coming from a place of experience. It's coming from a place where we've really been there and we've done that. And we're going to share what we've learned along the way, which I think is something that you've learned in your entrepreneurial journey. You've been at it. I learn from you every day, and I want other people to get the opportunity to learn from you as well in the business context.
So let's do that. Let's keep learning. Let's keep sharing. Let's keep learning. And let's take the next 6 or 7 minutes, Kristina, to share a little bit about Kristina Flynn and Keith Bilous with Business Athlete Nation. And maybe what we can do this week, Kristina, is use this week to let our audience know about us and get to know you and I outside of what we do for the first hour and a half and the fun, entertaining side of things. So, maybe over the next 5 days here, we can just leave nuggets of our experiences and so forth. And I'm going to start with a little bit of interviewing with you. So as I've gotten to know you, I love your knowledge and your excitement around the personal brand. And this whole, we're moving way past the resume. We're moving past the CV. We have a 360 digital view of us. But before we go there, Kristina Flynn, why is personal branding so important to you? And why did you show such interest in it? And talk about your experience working with the NBA and working with professional athletes and how that led to where you are today. Kristina.
So I've had a somewhat atypical career. And you know this, Keith. It's been a winding path. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, we don't realize that that's actually quite common for us. I started my career working in the NBA as an intern for the Toronto Raptors. And I grew over the 6+ years that I was there. Ultimately, my job became the conduit between business operations and basketball operations. So if marketing or consumer products or ticketing wanted something from the team, they came through me and my team. And it was my job to know about the team, not just what was happening on the court, but more like who are the people on that team? What do they care about? So when a player first came to town, whether they were international, from another team, from the NCAA, I was one of the first people that they would meet with. And I had only 60 minutes. It seems like a long time, but only 60 minutes to gather as much information as I possibly could about this individual. Where are they coming from? What have their experiences been? Where were they raised? Who's the family that's surrounding them? What are the values that they have? What do they care about? What do they give a shit about? And I would take that information back and I would submit it to the business operations to say, these are the best types of opportunities we can put in front of this player because they care about it and its values align, and therefore they're going to succeed. They're going to make that a better partnership for you and for your clients because we're going to put them in opportunities for them to be successful. So I was doing that all along, but I didn't know at the time that I was building personal brands in that sense because so many of us, I think I'm not unique. If you don't have the title associated with it, you're like, well, I can't be that. I'm not a personal brand person because personal brand was never in my title. But over time, I did a number of different things. We won't even begin to go into the rest of my career. But over time, what I realized was, oh, shit, this is something I've been doing my entire career. I did it afterwards with philanthropists and with VCs and with investors, and then with myself as an entrepreneur. So for me, it's been something I've been doing for a long time. And now I feel really fortunate to be in this moment in time where I think we're well positioned in society to take advantage of the personal brand and to have freedom around making it what we want versus what everyone thinks that it should be.
But Kristina, what the hell is a personal brand? And I'm serious because a lot of people hear it. It seems fluffy. You know, I got Billy Pullett here in the comments probably going, what the hell is this personal brand stuff? Like break it down for somebody like Kristina. What is a personal brand?
For me, it's leverage. So a personal brand is if you're trying to sell anything, you need to connect with your audience. And we know this is not new information. People buy from people. So if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to sell something, a personal brand is packaging up the pieces of me so that it can resonate with my audience. And there's a variety of different ways to do that. I can do that in the way that it looks, so the visual look and feel of it. We often think of brand as like, what's my logo? What's my font going to be? And how are my colors going to be? But it's what's behind all of that as well. So it's packaging up what you're trying to sell, who you are and why you're the right person to be selling it, and then putting that in ways that articulate all those things to your audience. Basic. It's telling your audience, this is what I sell. This is how it benefits you. This is how I'm different than anybody else who's saying the same shit that I am. This is why I'm motivated by this. And this is why, you know, I'm going to uniquely be able to serve you and position you in a way that nobody else can. My stories are what prove all that. So a personal brand is saying, this is all of my expertise and experiences. I'm not only saying that I can help you, I've done it for other people, and I'm going to show you all the ways that I've done it. And this is why you should actually believe me and trust in my authority.
Is a personal brand necessary in 2024 to succeed, Kristina Flynn?
Depends on what your goals are.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to succeed in selling something online, I would argue yes. Oftentimes the question that I'm getting from everyone is, do I build a company brand or do I build a personal brand? And my recommendations with that always comes from my own personal experience. When I was in Web3 and NFTs and crypto, I built a brand around more so my company. It was called Intentional, was a digital agency. And I spent a lot of time and effort and energy focused on building a brand around that. It had nothing to do with me. All of that pretty well went away overnight when the algorithm changed. That's one thing. It's not everything. The market went from bull to bear very, very quickly. All of my client budgets dried up and they went away. And I was left with this thing that on the surface had a lot of followers, but I couldn't do anything with it because I had built it around my company. So I couldn't shift and change what I was talking about because everyone would have been like, well, what the fuck? I don't really care what you have to say about that. So when I came to LinkedIn, it was a matter of how would I do that differently so that I don't get stuck in the situation again, so I can shift and change and grow because I love shifting and changing and growing. And so it became more about me and what I had to offer versus the mechanism or the companies that I was offering with.
Yeah. You are hanging out with Kristina and Keith, Mornings in the Lab. Keith and friends here. Jon and Marty are gone. We're on the last segment of the show here. We're talking personal branding and business, a brand new segment, business and branding with Keith and Kristina. We got Cosmic Vision jumping in here. Good morning, Keith. Just dropped in to check in before the daily run. Awesome. Cosmic, that's awesome that you're here. I appreciate you jumping in to join the show. Marty and Jon have gone on with their day, and Cosmic, we've added an extra 30 minutes to the show here. So I'm glad you stopped in to say hello, and I appreciate you as well for jumping into the show here. Kristina, so our first segment is done. Our building the airplane as we fly type thing is done here today. I want to give you 2 cents on my opinion on the personal brand. I think in a world, Billy Pullett is very insightful. Appreciate that. Pullett, I'm telling you, man, you can show up every single day. You're going to get nuggets from Flynn that you're not going to get anywhere else every single day. And if you're going somewhere else, you're paying for it. So if you just come here every single day around 9:45 Eastern time, you're going to get free stuff that's going to help you move forward in life. And here's what I'm thinking, Flynn. In a world of AI, in a world where we saw Connect last week, Meta Connect with Zuckerberg, and he puts on the fake influencer on stage. So like the whole thing wasn't real. And I played that notebook LLM thing last week with no real human beings, right? So the idea of the personal brand, Kristina, I think it's as simple as this. It puts the humanity on top of the personal brand, because you're going to see over time these personal brands that are AI generated personal brands with no real human attached to it. So I think, building a personal brand with a human attached to it makes yourself stand out in a world of a very digital ready world that's coming upon us, where we're going to have a hard time determining what is real and what is fake. So I think that's
and people want that. People
Yes.
want human connection. It is in our nature, evolution. There's a reason why we want that. Like, it is evolutionary biology. So there's a reason why you could look at an AI influencer and feel like something is missing, and you
Yes.
don't really know what, but everything is there, but there's no human connection. And so that human connection, that's where the opportunity lies. When, like, we have literally just scratched the surface with AI influencers and AI brands.
Yes.
So if you're able to take this opportunity now to get comfortable with building your own personal brand, people want that, and they're going to continually want that from folks, to be able to create connection on a human level and buy from people that are actually humans.
That's it. We got some people tuning into the show, so I'm extending for a couple minutes here. Well, with Flynn, because the reality is that we can live in a world now where we can buy stuff from AI generated humans, AI generated whatever. What I'm hoping, what I know you're hoping, and what we are hoping with this show is, yes, you're going to have choices to go have AI and creative generated content. The reality is, you can come here, you're going to get real human experiences from Jon Andersen, real human experience from Christopher Martin, real human experience from Kristina Flynn, from myself. And I think that leans into, just to wrap this point up, the power of the personal brand, right? Because those experiences I've had, I live with, I share them with you guys. It makes me more human. But it's difficult to do that if we're leaning back into technology of yesterday, which is the resume and the CV. Kristina, before we say goodbye, is the resume and the CV dead in 2024?
I won't say it's dead. Like everything, it's going to take a long time for those things to phase out. Like, corporations aren't moving away from the CV anytime soon. What I will say, though, is that it's an and, not an or. So my clients who have perhaps recently been laid off, the first thing that we work on is their LinkedIn profile. And then we take that information and we apply it to their resume, because there's a different, like, I don't know the exact stat that we've used, but I think it's like 50+% of people are getting more inbound interest from recruiters, job companies that are looking for people, and they're doing it by way of LinkedIn. So whether you like the CV going away or not, it doesn't really matter. If you want more opportunity, especially on the job front, yeah, you're going to have your LinkedIn up to date, and look at it as an opportunity to be building something that's different than everyone else. Look at it as a great opportunity that nobody's doing those things. Fuck it. Awesome. I'm going to be different than everyone else then. And you can actually look at my profile and see who I am and what I'm about. That's a huge differentiator and a big opportunity to take advantage of.
Huge differentiator. Billy Paulett, final word to you, my friend. 100%. It has to be an and, not an or. Very, very well said. And Good Time pops in with my son made a podcast with AI. They had a full conversation. It was really good. Yeah, exactly. Good Time. Notebook LLM. That's exactly the platform that we've been playing with as well. Very cool stuff here. And then we got Adam coming in with, I reckon this will all come full circle. Us oldies still love face-to-face and hate the automation. Even getting my pothole switch gets an automated robot. It's by phone. It's so true. And I think that's the kind of show we're trying to put together here, Adam, is to bring the human element into a world that's rapidly moving digital and rapidly making some of us old dudes just figure it out. So, and Good Time comes in with he's 11. It's nuts. Kristina, it's time to go. We got some work to do. I think it's time to wrap up the show and say goodbye. Nation, I appreciate you guys joining myself, Kristina Flynn, Jon Andersen, and CMartyFit today. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, mornings in the lab. You guys know where to find us. But Kristina, let's get out of here. Let's go have a good day and go rock and roll and get on with it.
And let's add one note too, because I'm seeing Billy. We actually don't hate AI. We love AI. And we just know that there's a way to use it, and it comes right back to the and, not the or. We can get into that another day. So I'd love for you to come back to the show. But yeah, we actually love AI. We don't hate it.
Yeah, we do. And I'll tell you, we little secret here. This business is being built with AI first. So while we are all a bunch about humans, the reality is in 2024, I don't know if it's the best idea to build a business with humans supported by AI. I'm going to reckon that maybe we build a business with AI supported by humans, just a different bit of a mind shift. So as you're seeing this media company being built in front of your eyes, a little secret, that's how we're looking at things. AI first, human second, supporting the work of AI. Kristina, great conversation. Clearly people are interested in this. Clearly we're going to have great dialogue, and you guys will get this every single day at 9:45 Eastern time with Keith and Kristina. We're going to talk business and talk about branding. Flynn, we're good?
And tomorrow we're going to learn about you. I get to interview you, so watch yourself.
There we go. There we go. And Billy Poet, it's obviously the future, but I just like the no human element. Well, hey, keep coming back, hanging out with us, and we'll keep bringing you those humans. We're going to get out of here. I got to go get my lift in, and I got some work to do. Thanks, Adam. And you guys have a great day. Keith and Kristina, we are going to rock and roll out of here. See you, Flinner. See you guys.
There you go. Have a lovely day.
See you, Adam. Take care, brother. See you, Poet. Take care. Have fun. Ciao.